CBS Young and the Restless spoilers, Monday full, the 18th of May, 2026. Welcome back to the channel, besties. Today is a beautiful, chaotic day to completely lose our grip on reality because the Genoa City tea is boiling over and we need to unpack it immediately. Grab your iced coffees and strap in because we are going for a ride. You guys, I am deceased. Stop what you are doing right now. I am literally shaking, filming this while I'm running errands, dodging shopping carts, because I just had to jump on here and vent. Wait, we need to talk about this now. I am physically vibrating from the sheer audacity of what just went down on the Young and the Restless. I was mid-skincare, literally applying a charcoal mask, and I smeared it all over my pristine white rug when I saw what Diane Jenkins Abbott just did. Bestie, be for real right now. Diane is officially on my do not perceive list. I am so done with her absolute delusion. She is genuinely sitting there, leaving a pathetic little voicemail for Jack Abbott, hoping to reconcile after she literally caught him in bed with Patty Williams and then in a compromising situation with Nikki Newman. Like, girl, stand up. I cannot even fathom the level of clownery happening here. She thinks this little message is going to magically fix her marriage, but instead it is straight up turning into a psychological nightmare of epic proportions. I am hyperventilating just thinking about the absolute mess she has walked herself into. Oh, hold on, I should have mentioned this earlier, but my brain is visibly buffering right now. Diane is literally having these unhinged, terrifying nightmares that are honestly giving me sleep paralysis, just watching them. In her dream, Jack straight up tells her he doesn't want her anymore and that he is madly in love with Patty. Patty Williams, the woman who is a literal menace to society. And wait, it gets crazier. There is this absolutely insane world-ending theory floating around in Diane's subconscious that Jack and Patty might have a secret love child together. A secret child. Send help. My soul has actually left my body. Can you even imagine the absolute cinematic mayhem if Patty Williams, who, let's not forget, poisoned Summer Newman years ago, suddenly produces a miniature Jack Abbott? I literally had to yeet my phone across the room when that thought crossed my mind. This dream is either a deeply traumatic manifestation of Diane's insecurities, or it is a straight-up prophecy, and I am manifesting a total dumpster fire by the next update. Wait, backtrack for a second. I missed a step, because we need to talk about Jack Abbott's actual real-life villain arc right now. Jack is currently sitting at society, looking like a whole snack but acting like an absolute demon, playing the most twisted psychological mind games with Patty. He is basically manipulating this deeply unstable, obsessed woman just to get back at Victor Newman, which is honestly so unhinged. Like, Jack, bestie, what are we doing here? You are playing with literal fire. Patty is already half a step away from a total meltdown, and Jack is just sitting there, sipping his drink, feeding her delusions because he thinks he can use her as a weapon. I am genuinely offended by his choices. He is so blinded by his hatred for Victor that he doesn't even care who he destroys in the process. It's giving major, I will burn this city to the ground energy, and don't even get me started on the vibes at society while this was happening. The lighting was so dramatic, I swear I heard a weird background noise like a cello playing the Jaws theme. Did I say that yet? Ugh, my brain is mush. Moving on, Jack's ultimate overarching goal here is so petty and chaotic that I am totally living for it while simultaneously judging him so hard because he has essentially lost Diane. He wants to make absolutely sure that Victor loses Nikki forever. He wants to drag Victor down to his level of misery. Let's really unpack the absolute audacity of Jack Abbott here. We are talking about a man who has spent decades pretending to have the moral high ground over Victor, and now he is literally weaponizing a woman's mental illness to ruin a marriage. But honestly, manipulating Patty to expose Victor, it is genuinely going to backfire so spectacularly. I'm calling it right now, the villain arc is about to go nuclear. Patty is not a pawn you can just move around a chessboard. She is the whole explosive device. When she realizes Jack is just using her to ruin Victor and Nikki's marriage, she is going to snap, and Jack is going to be left standing in the ashes of his own terrible decisions. Wait, I'm glitching. Okay. Back to the main event. We absolutely must pivot to Phyllis Summers because I am screaming, crying, throwing up over her latest master plan. Phyllis is currently spiraling because Victor and Christine have basically framed her with flawless AI evidence, and she is staring down the barrel of a prison sentence. So what does our unhinged queen do? She discovers that Matt Clark, yes, the Matt Clark, who is currently faking amnesia after getting his face rearranged by Noah Newman, is in town, and she decides to use him. But she doesn't just use him. She literally sets this absolute psychopath up in a swanky hotel room. And this is the part that genuinely sent me into orbit. She stocked the mini fridge for him. I am deceased. Phyllis Summers is out here playing hospitality manager for a domestic terrorist just to keep him happy so she can use him as leverage against the Newman family. It is the most Phyllis thing to ever happen, and I am obsessed with the sheer audacity. Let's do a quick history lesson for the new besties in the chat. Matt Clark is the reason Nick is currently fighting for his life against addiction. He tainted the drugs. He held Noah and Sharon hostage at a rundown gas station. And Phyllis, who is supposed to be this fiercely protective mother to Summer and Daniel, is literally fluffing his pillows in a luxury suite. Make it make sense. I am literally screaming into my pillow right now because the betrayal I feel on behalf of the Newman family is so real. She genuinely thinks that she can waltz up to Victor Newman, the man who is currently plotting her total destruction, and offer him Matt Clark on a silver platter in exchange for her freedom and keeping Summers Corp. Bestie, be for real right now. Victor would rather watch his own empire burn than let Phyllis win. But Phyllis is so desperate, she even drags poor, exhausted Michael Baldwin into this mess. Michael is literally fighting for his life, trying to keep Phyllis out of jail, and now she wants him to broker a deal with Victor using a fake amnesiac villain as a bargaining chip. Michael's face during this entire sequence was a mood. He looks like he hasn't slept since 2015. I genuinely don't think Michael can convince Victor to agree to these terms because Victor doesn't negotiate with terrorists, and he certainly doesn't negotiate with Phyllis Summers when he already has her pinned to the wall. Oh my God. And speaking of the Newmans, we need to talk about Nick because I am literally unwell over his storyline. Nick has just made a grave mistake, like a catastrophic, world-ending, point of no return mistake. We already know he is absolutely terrified of his escalating drug addiction. He's been popping fentanyl and cocaine like candy just to cope with the trauma of Vegas. And Victor recently gave him the most brutal unforgiving reality check instead of actually helping him. So Nick is completely isolated, spiraling out of control, and now he has done something irreversible. Is it related to Phyllis's unhinged hotel deal with Matt Clark, or did he just go out and score more painkillers to numb the immense psychological damage his father just inflicted on him? Nick's grave mistake isn't just a little oopsie-daisy. We are talking about a man who is buckling under the weight of the Newman legacy. Victor looked him dead in the eye and offered zero comfort, only judgment. That kind of emotional damage doesn't just go away. It festers. And when you mix that level of paternal rejection with a raging fentanyl dependency, you get a recipe for absolute disaster. I am physically clutching my chest because I am so unwell over Nick's trajectory. I am genuinely hyperventilating over his mental state right now. He is basically a walking tragedy at this point. The way the camera panned to his face when he realized the gravity of his mistake, chills, literal chills. I want to jump through the screen and wrap him in a blanket, but at the same time, I am screaming at him to make better choices. If this mistake is tied to Matt Clark, Nick is basically signing his own death warrant. Matt is already plotting to destroy him, and Nick is just serving himself up on a silver platter because his brain is so clouded by the drugs and the fear of his father's disappointment. It is a psychological masterpiece of a train wreck, and I am completely invested to the point where my grip on reality is slipping. Okay, wait. I need to take a breath, deep inhale, because we have to veer off into a completely random tangent about the aesthetic perfection that is Claire Grace Newman and Holden Novak. They are currently packing their bags and preparing to fly off to New York City, and I am straight up losing my mind over the vibes. The wardrobe department deserves a raise, first of all, because Claire's travel outfit was giving major old money stealth wealth, and I was distracted for a solid 3 minutes just staring at her coat. But anyway, back to the tea. Claire is claiming that she is only going to NYC with Holden to provide moral support while he deals with the absolute chaos of finding out Malcolm Winters is his biological father. Moral support? Bestie, who are you kidding? We all know they already had that incredibly passionate, steamy night together. You do not just fly to New York City with the guy you just hooked up with for moral support. I am calling it right now. This trip is going to push them entirely over the edge. Claire might have tried to pull away after their night together to keep things professional or whatever, but the chemistry is literally leaping off the screen. She looked like she was thoroughly enjoying every single second of his company. Putting these two in the most romantic, fast-paced city in the world when they are already vibrating with unresolved sexual tension, it is a recipe for an absolute romantic explosion. Holden has been through the absolute ringer. Devin is rejecting him, Nate is being stubborn, and he just needs a win. And Claire, she is the perfect blend of empathetic and mysterious. The way they look at each other, it's giving soulmates, it's giving endgame, it's giving, I will burn the world down for you. I am genuinely so invested in this ship that it has become my entire personality. I am manifesting that they get snowed in or stuck in a tiny boutique hotel room with only one bed. Yes, it's a cliche, but I am totally here for it. Honestly, between Diane's prophetic secret child nightmares, Jack's villainous manipulation of a literal poisoner, Phyllis running a bed and breakfast for Matt Clark, Nick's catastrophic drug-fueled mistakes, and Claire and Holden's spicy NYC getaway, I am physically exhausted. My brain is buffering, My emotional damage is off the charts, and I feel like I have been personally attacked by these plot twists. I am going to need 3 to 5 business days to recover from this episode alone. Drop your unhinged theories in the comments, because I need to know I am not spiraling alone. I am logging off before I completely lose my mind. Bye, besties.